We're the voices of experiencers, and we are the experiences with extraterrestrials.
Yeah. But so many people were talking about it and saying that they would see an owl and then they would see a UFO. Mm-hmm. Or they would see a UFO with owls.
Or the owl would turn into an ET.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Wow. And I think this man said that it was quite large. There's a lot of reports of them being very large, like 4 feet tall, or bigger.
It's time for disclosure. It's time for truth, because truth brings powerful transformations.
Here in the night, but they terrify me. So I'm relating that to that gentleman. I mean, and he said it startled me. Oh my God, I'd have ran the other way. I'd have been gone. I would have never looked back. Let alone the size he's describing. And you're saying, Michael, the possibility of it, you know, in a lot of situations, it's a grade. It's the height of a grade.
We're the voices of change and profound evolution.
No, I was just thinking medical stuff. You know, you have your lymph nodes there.
Yeah.
You know, you may want to check and see if there's any abnormality there or something, but that's just off the top of my head.
Yeah. Or what a great place to hide an implant.
Wow.
Seems like a painful place to hide.
Well, painful, but maybe not as noticeable.
For sure. We're the bridge between two different worlds.
I wonder this gentleman that's doing this
Just
regression.
turn around.
This gentleman that's doing this regression. I wonder if he has thought about that curious incident that he might have been somewhere different. You know, I'm sure he has, because and what we're saying here is that, you know, we've heard this before, that maybe they're just showing him things that make him comfortable, and he's thought about that.
Yeah.
Profound integration is coming.
What are they doing now?
I'm not sure. It's not confused. I don't know who they are. I don't know why they're there. They're looking at my body.
Do they have anything in their hands?
They're like fingers, like curl.
And they're curled?
Yeah. And they're doing something in my armpit.
Can you see what they're doing to your armpit?
I can feel it. It's uncomfortable. I'm not crying.
You don't have to experience anything, just so you know. I just want you to observe and tell me what's happening. Okay?
They won't tell me.
They still won't tell you? Can you stand back and watch what they're doing and tell me? Just an observer?
One person doesn't want me to be scared. 2 people are holding my arms.
So there's 3 altogether?
There's one person who is doing something in my armpit. There's 4.
There's 4 altogether?
I'm not in my bed.
You're not in your bed? Where are you at?
I don't know. It looks like my room, but I'm not on my bed.
Did they take you somewhere else?
It's flat.
What you're laying on is flat?
Yeah, I can see the branches of the window.
Just who are extraterrestrials? Let's find out with the voices of contact.
We are the voices of experiencers because we are the experiencers. It's time for disclosure, and it's time for truth because truth brings powerful transformation. And we are the voices of change. We're about evolution on an expansive level, living life without fear and becoming the bridge between 2 different realities. Profound evolution is here. Profound integration is here. This is the Voices of Contact. Hi, everyone. I'm Mary. I am a channeler and psychic medium. I'm also a hypnosis regressionist for ET experiencers, and I work with MUFON doing regression work. I also work with PTSD experiencers, paranormal experiencers, and victims of crime to assist them in recall. I'm really looking forward to another amazing show with our panel tonight. I just want to say to you guys that the work that you're doing here with me is so impactful. It's life-changing, and I thank you for being here with me. It means more than you realize, to me, as well as the listeners. We have Michael Carter, and he is a lifetime UFO contactee, author of Alien Scriptures, Extraterrestrials, and the Holy Bible, and he's also a regular consultant on the Histories Channel Ancient Aliens series, as well as being featured in several UFO documentaries. Last but not least, we have Deb and RJ DeRoos. They're authors, paranormal UFO researchers, and they're experiencers themselves. They're also the founders of the Michigan UFO Contact that happens every year in Houghton Lake, Michigan at the end of September, and owners and managers of Mystical Awakenings Radio, Mystical Awakenings VODCAST on YouTube, and of the Mystical Awakenings Metaphysical Store in Houghton Lake, Michigan. Now, the show is all about transmutating the light from the dark to replace fear with knowledge. Through my regression work, I have come across some amazing cases with some amazing clients, and I've worked with them to help them have a better understanding of the contact that they've had, whether they were taken, whether it was just regular contact, or if it was just a dream. I'm fortunate enough that my clients have agreed to allow me to use the regressions on the voices of contact. Here, the panel will break down the experiences and provide profound feedback. So not only do all of the listeners get to connect and learn, the person that I regressed walks away immersed in their experience with a new perspective on their experience. So literally, it's a win-win, right? This is the Voices of Contact. Hi, everyone. How are you guys doing tonight?
Mary.
Good.
Great.
Good, very
Good.
good.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Oh,
Definitely
good to
glad
see
to
all
be
of you
here.
guys. All right, so to give you a little bit of background on tonight's regression. So this was a gentleman, and he actually regressed when he was a little boy. So I have 6 clips, and it's 2 different scenarios. The first 2 clips are in one house, and the last 4 clips are in another house. And he really talks about the entities or the beings that he connects with. And the first 2 come as like an owl. And in the last clips, he talks about an experience he had when he was a little boy, and these beings would actually come to his room. And so for Michael Carter, to give a little bit of background on his religious history, he was raised in a very religious family, Christian, but what I found really interesting is they were very open-minded. So he shared his stories. They weren't closed down, and they were very open to any kind of possibilities that were out there. All right, so let me play the first clip here.
Very good.
And it was bedtime, and you had gotten up, and you could see an owl in the window that seemed to be trying to communicate with you. You're there now. Tell me what's happening.
I walk into the bathroom. It's a small bathroom. Window straight ahead. It's at night, and it scares me at first. It's bigger than most owls. It almost like fills the window. It's looking right at me. I don't know why it's looking at me, but it seems to know who I am, want something from me, but I don't understand.
Okay, well, I want you to ask the owl what he wants from you and have him tell you.
What do you want? I don't understand
What don't you understand?
what he wants.
Can you ask him to show you what he wants?
Can you show me what you want? He wants me to know that I'm not special, but life has got is important, or I don't know for sure.
What makes you special?
I don't know. It's like he wants me to know, though.
Interesting. Chris, we had a gentleman at our UFO conference. Has written
Mike Cleland.
a lot of books about owls and visitations. And of course, other people talked about it too. So,
Right.
for you, the audience that don't understand that, there's a lot of information out there about that. So, and the connection.
Yeah, Mary mentioned that sometimes they're used in screen memories.
Yeah.
My ex-wife's nephew you can't even have an owl picture in your home. He freaks out. And I don't know whether he believes in this phenomenon or what. I don't think he does. I think he may be open to it, but to me, it's just unnatural to have that kind of fear. There's something behind it.
Yeah.
Like people say they're afraid of clowns. But he freaks out. And it's interesting because the archetype of the owl is the wise one.
Right. Right.
I've seen one once driving out of here, huge. And it's allegedly a good omen in Native American lore if you see an owl, but they're all through contactee stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard many stories about, well, the year that Mike Cleland came and talked about the owl connection. So many experiences.
Yeah, he's got a book, an older book.
Yeah, yeah. But so many people were talking about it and saying that they would see an owl and then they would see a UFO,
Mm-hmm.
or they would see a UFO with owls,
or the owl would turn into an ET.
Right.
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 Yeah.
Wow.
And I think this man said that it was quite large. There's a lot of reports of them being very large, like 4 feet tall, or bigger.
Which happens to be sometimes the size of one of the grays.
Right.
Yeah. But he did mention, I don't know what he wants or she wants or it wants, but there's a familiarity. I can't put my finger on it, but there was a familiarity. He said, which is common. Right. I know, but I don't know, but I feel familiar. Something familiar about this.
Yeah.
For myself, I find, as beautiful as owls are, they can also be very vicious territorial animals. From a little bit that I know, very little, around where I live, I've seen them twice in my life. Don't ask me what type they were, just common barn owls, I guess.
Yeah.
There's one I hear all the time. I don't remember what type it is, but I hear it all the time when I used to walk my dogs around here. You'd hear them at night. But they terrify me. So I'm relating that to that gentleman. And he said, it startled me. Oh my God. I'd have ran the other way. I'd have been gone. I would have never looked back, let alone the size he's describing. And you're saying, Michael, the possibility of it, in a lot of situations, it's a gray. It's the height of a gray. Why doesn't that make sense? That absolutely does. And again, it makes these encounters that much more terrifying and intriguing. Oh my God, could you imagine seeing a 4-foot owl or an owl larger than life? Either way, that's freaky stuff, man.
Well, right. You touched on something, Michael. I know we're focusing on this brother here, but it's almost like a religious or spiritual experience. The same thing that frightens you is also the same thing that you're attracted to.
Yes.
When I was screwed up from my experiences, and some would say I still am a bit, but I missed them when they didn't come. The very thing that frightened me because of the bizarreness, if months went by, did I do something wrong? Where are you? But then when you come and paralyze me, I'm like, so it's it's like this fear and trepidation. It's almost like the ancestors talked about seeing God, whatever that means to you. And there's fear and there's trepidation and there's light. There's this blinding light. Yeah. It's an ancient kind of emotional state, but it's interesting. The very thing that, well, even on a mundane level, sometimes the very things we want out of life, that to be successful, whatever, are the very things that scares us. And so it's like, what happens to me if my dreams don't come true? But the real thing is, what happens if they do?
Wow.
So I want to share this real quick. We used to put on an event called the Flower of Life, and it was an outdoor event, and people would camp there, and we do various things. But our good friend Barry Whitecrow had a dream, and he was going to give me my Native American name, and I won't give you the Native American name, but it essentially meant night gray owl. Mm-hmm. So a half hour after that, Deb and I had to go into this little town, and it was getting dark. And on our way back to the event, right before the driveway, this huge gray owl lands right in front of our car in the street. Wow. And I stopped, and we were looking at it. He was just staring at us. We looked at each other. Oh my God! So, that was quite an event that we'll never forget.
Mm-hmm. And then later that night, around the campfire, we did see something in the sky.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Yeah. I wanted to share that.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
A little validity in it.
I think so. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Because I do know the gentleman said the size of this owl literally filled his whole window. It was that large.
Yeah, he did say that. He did. Yeah.
Right.
And so in this next clip that I'm going to play, it talks about a little bit more about the owl and what he feels like, why the owl is there and what it means to him. Give me 1 second. Who is he to you?
I don't know why he's an owl, but he's kind.
Is he something other than an owl?
I cannot tell.
Ask him to show you.
Can you show me what you are? I think he felt that I'd be most comfortable if he showed me that he was an owl.
Do you feel comfortable him showing you what he truly is, other than just the owl?
I'm not scared anymore.
All right, tell him that you're not scared and have him show you.
I'm not scared. He's not talking to me like where I can see his mouth move and hear him. It's feeling I have.
What do you feel he is?
Somebody who cares about me. He's nice, but I don't know him from anywhere. I think he wants me to know that I'm important to him. I feel like he's telling me he loves me.
Has he known you for a long time? Does he come to see you often?
He wants me to know he's with me.
Now, real quick, because this is what I find interesting, is if we remember the last couple of episodes where the woman, she speaks of that bird and that bird being a watcher and a helper and an advisor. And so my take on it personally, it's something like this where he's this person's watcher. He watches over him. He advises him when he needs it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, he even used the word love.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it makes sense that, it wouldn't want to frighten him. It would be a guardian of some sort. We talk about guardian angels and, I'll probably get in trouble here, but what are angels? Galactic beings from the heavens that help us, that watch us, that guide us. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
would.
yeah, the very fact that angels come from the heavens, it puts it in the category of an extraterrestrial, right, Michael?
That's the way I would look at it, but they also come from different dimensions. They could
That's
be
true.
an
That's
extraterrestrial
true.
as well.
That's true.
You know, and you can have spirit guides that are, you know, deceased
Right.
relatives, maybe, and they can also be extraterrestrials. So, but the connection is there, according to what he's saying. I love you. He says, I'm not afraid anymore. So there's an amnesia that has happened. Maybe there's a past life connection, between live connection, but there's some type of connection that's there, and it continues.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say this in relation to. I mean, what are spirit guides? You know, you quite. You know, what are angels? And not to offend anybody. I mean, everybody's got their own beliefs, but I mean, yes. What in the big picture, in the big realm, what is all of this? You know, relating
Yeah,
to spirit
yeah,
guides, angels, and
yeah. I agree. I agree.
even with um, relatives coming to visit us. I mean, there's theories. That's my safe word for me. Even when a relative comes in spirit form, who's to say that's the relative? You know, or and let's go next level. Let's go shadow figures, all that, and they're interdimensionals. Absolutely. There's so many possibilities of the plausible here of what it could be.
Yeah,
But in
yeah.
fact, this gentleman, what an amazing. Again, it comes in the form of an owl.
I think as we move forward,
Yes, sir.
which we will and with Mama Mary, you know, the word, you know, in Hebrew is melech, which is messenger. So we'll know who the angel is if they have a message for this person, because that's what they do. They're emissaries. They stand
Yeah.
between you and another reality. And so as we go on, maybe there's a message for him.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I think as we evolve, I feel that some of our jobs are going to be spirit guides and to help people with their ascension.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Or go on. And, you know, I had just very quickly, because I don't want to get too far away from what his story.
Yeah.
A psychic had told me a while ago. We were talking about this topic, and you have a choice depending on where you are in your spirit's evolution.
Right.
You can come back as like Della Reese and touched by an angel if you choose to, depending on where you are, or you can go into the next level of existence.
Yeah.
And the way he explained it, you know, I probably want to go, you know, if you've had lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, maybe you've been a guide before, you maybe you want to come back and help somebody, or maybe you go, I'll go to the next level from whatever it is after the astral plane. And there's all, so those are some things as well. But going back to our friend here, I'm thinking there's a message for him.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like it was for Michael.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what angels do. They bring messages.
So for this next clip, he goes into another experience. He's still a young boy. He's living in a different house. And in this experience, he is sleeping in a room with his brother. And what he describes as green entities, they come into his room. And so we just kind of go from there with the experience of these beings surrounding him.
The green beans, are these the green beans?
Yes.
Okay.
I just knew you'd do that.
Okay, so let's drift away from that scene and let's drift away to a time when you're in your bed and one of the green men come to visit you. Can you describe what's happening?
Well, I'm in a different house.
Okay.
My brother is in the room with me. He's sleeping.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to sleep. Well, they're little.
They're little?
Yeah.
Can you describe what they look like for me?
I don't look like me.
They don't look like you?
No, they're not green.
They're not green, okay. When you say they're little, are they little like They're smaller than you as a child?
Mm, they seem older, but they're small. They're not children. They're not a child.
They're just very short. What color is their skin?
Whitish gray, light gray.
Wow.
Boy.
Sounds like the people I saw, they were whitish gray.
And probably about his size, right? If he were a little boy.
Mm-hmm.
So now that experience was after seeing the owls, right?
Correct.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is okay. Very interesting.
What I
And,
find interesting is, his memory, he remembered this, was he thought they were green beings or green entities. And then when, through the regression, he sees them as a completely different color. So it just goes to show, like, your memory as a child can be completely different than the actual experience was.
right, because on TV or anything you're going to hear, it's aliens and they're green, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Greys, as well as many other beings, have the big eyes, that could look like owl eyes, and maybe that shape. So it makes me wonder, was he seeing owls, or was his mind telling him this big thing in the window is an owl?
Wow.
Or possibly both.
Yeah.
We don't know. But
Interesting.
that's very interesting.
Now it was also interesting to know that he, as a child, knew that they were older, and I'm not sure what he meant by that, but how he knew that. But somehow he picked up on they were older, and it's interesting. I mean, what he might have been saying, older than his child, because they were the same size, maybe, that older than him.
Mm-hmm.
He knew that. So anyway.
Yeah. There has to be a connection, more than just seeing them.
Yes. Yeah. I feel there is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, you said he doesn't feel he was ever taken.
Well, through the regression, we never pulled up anything where he was actually taken. I think his subconscious mind was actually protecting him from exploring too much and more than what he was ready for. These were experiences that he'd had over, 30, 40 years. He has a long-standing family history of UFO sightings. So I'm thinking there's much more to his experiences. This was his first regression that he's done. And I just don't think subconsciously, I think because the subconscious mind will protect you if you're not ready. It'll only reveal what you're ready to reveal. Okay. And I think
and also if they put a block on it too sometimes.
That's right. Yeah. I don't think he was ready for the full disclosure. For when he was a little boy, he was prepared for that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
All right. So for this next one, we get into where he actually starts to describe what the beings they look like.
What do their eyes look like?
Long.
What color are they?
Black. Dark.
What are they doing in your room?
Coming to see me.
Why are they visiting you?
They're not telling me.
And what do they do next?
They're looking at my body.
What parts of your body?
My arms and underneath my arms.
Why are they looking underneath there?
They're not telling me, but they don't want me to be scared, but I am scared.
Do they do anything to try to calm you down?
No, I don't understand what's happening.
Have they come to you before?
Yes.
And what did they do before when they came?
Same thing.
What do you feel they're doing with your underarms?
It's not, I can't sleep. It's uncomfortable.
What's uncomfortable?
They're doing something.
What are they doing now?
Wow. So
Did he say they were feeling under his arms?
Yeah.
doing something?
Yeah, looking under his arms. Yeah.
But it was uncomfortable.
What do you know about that, Michael? Anything?
No, I was just thinking medical stuff. You know, you have your lymph nodes there.
Yeah.
You know, you may want to check and see if there's any abnormality there or something, but that's just off the top of my head.
Or what a great place to hide an implant.
That's
Wow.
what
Seems like a painful place to hide it.
Well, painful, but maybe not as noticeable.
For
I
sure.
don't know. I mean,
Right.
if being a little boy, you know, the mother is, you know how moms are, we would spot it, but
Well, the thing is, though, they don't seem to need an implant to find them.
right.
That we know of. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm wondering why it was uncomfortable.
What if
I mean, well, they're
implants?
kind of fondling. I mean, they're touching him now.
Yeah.
What
You
if
know, and he's it's you can be familiar with someone, but it's one thing. Yeah, and the next thing you put your hands on me.
Yeah.
What if implants are less for tracking somebody, but more for trying to log conscious information of what the person's experiencing? Not so much to
Right.
see where they're at, but what are their thoughts, their feelings? What are they processing?
Yeah.
You know, a way to gather information on
That's a great point.
human life.
It's a great
Right.
point.
Yeah. Or to give and receive information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like our phones. We don't need anybody to spy on us. All we got to do is carry our phones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. You know, my heart goes out to him as a little boy.
Yeah.
But as you know, as an adult, I'm wondering, has he had any issues with under his arms? You know, does he have any pain under his arms? Is there anything lingering there?
As far as I know, there was not. But, you know, like I've experienced with these regressions, especially after they listen to it on the show, it triggers other things where
Mhm.
they start to remember different things.
Yeah. See, I would be feeling under my arms and looking in the mirror, and
I mean, you know, if they're very far advanced, they can probably insert anything without you won't even feel it, perhaps. But it might not be painful. It's just, and some of those things I've heard when they're exposed to air, they dissolve, and
Oh, really?
yeah, they've had them in, you know, they've had them for a while, and then next thing you know, they're gone. So, yeah, I mean, it can be used for a lot of different things. I'm sure that's a good point, Mary, that you brought up. I mean, it might be a microphone. Who knows? They can hear
Right.
us.
yeah. I mean, at first I thought maybe taking blood or skin samples, you know, for DNA, for something, for cloning. But why would it be under the arm?
Well, like I said, I think it's a good hiding spot. I mean, it's something you don't check all the time. And there's like lymph nodes under there, and there's, you know, a lot more under there that we are not aware of. So.
Also, do you happen to know if he had any illnesses as a young boy?
Not that I'm aware of. Because that's usually one of the questions that I ask, if there was any illnesses or anything that he wanted to address, and that wasn't put on the questionnaire. So, that as far as to my knowledge, he didn't have any severe illnesses.
Okay. I just
Because that
wondered
was
about
too. Yeah.
wondered about possible healing.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
All right. So for this next one, he kind of goes a little bit deeper into the beings, looking more at his arms, how many are there with him, and
more of what they're actually doing while they're examining him.
What are they doing now?
I'm not sure. It's not, I'm confused. I don't know who they are. I don't know why they're there. They're looking at my body.
Do they have anything in their hands?
They're like fingers, like curl.
And they're curled?
Yeah. And they're doing something in my armpit.
Can you see what they're doing to your armpit?
Oh, I can feel it. It's uncomfortable, but I'm not crying.
You don't have to experience anything, just so you know. I just want you to observe and tell me what's happening. Okay?
They won't tell me.
And they still won't tell you? Can you stand back and watch what they're doing and tell me? Just as an observer?
One person doesn't want me to be scared. 2 people are holding my arms up.
So there's 3 altogether?
There's one person who is doing something in my armpits. There's 4.
There's 4 altogether?
I'm not in my bed.
You're not in your bed?
No.
Where are you at?
I don't know. It looks like my room, but I'm not on my bed.
Did they take you somewhere else?
It's flat.
What you're laying on is flat?
Yeah, but I can see the branches in the windows.
Well, that kind of tells me that they might have taken him. So.
And he doesn't know who they are now. He says, I don't know who they are. So
Right.
something has shifted.
Yeah. Yeah, because the first time with them is when he mentioned, he loves me, he cares about me, and now so I'm wondering if it's a whole separate visitation.
We talked in the past, Michael and Mary and Deb, that, there's perhaps different stages in a visitations, and people do different things. They have different, for the lack of words, different jobs they have to do. Yeah. And, but it may all be connected still, but it's just that, the first one is, hey, we're here, and we're friends and we love you and this is going to be okay. And then the scientists come in and they do their thing. And,
Right.
Yeah. So I just get that feeling that maybe there's just different things going on at different stages of his life.
Yeah.
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 Did I hear correct? He was wherever he was at now. There was a window and you could see trees or branches. Is that correct?
That's what he said, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So just, picking at straws, they're still trying to make him feel comfortable, like he's still somewhere earthly, if you will, even though they have taken him away to somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he said that about the window, and then he said it looks like my room.
Yes.
But not my bed. But he's laying on something flat. So
Yeah.
Right. And it sounds like they were using that to keep him calm, a familiar space.
Yeah.
And he's feeling it. Well, maybe it's not as, maybe this is not as real as I'm thinking, it's not
Right.
as familiar. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's that manipulation piece,
Yeah.
trying to keep you comfortable and
Yeah.
at the same time trying to get done what they need to get done
Right.
so they can go on.
right.
But somehow you realize you're not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I don't think it's all that abnormal. I mean, it's great that first someone came and there was the feelings of love and comfort, and I don't want you to be afraid. But once they start working, they're very serious and very
Oh yeah.
very businesslike. Um,
Yep.
So him being a young boy to use the visual of his room, I guess, is brilliant.
Mm.
But he did kind of figure it out with regression. But it doesn't it blow your mind how they can do these things, the manipulation, the erasing memories, making you think you're in one place and having you someplace else. I mean, it's
Well, but that's why there is a contingent of people who say that this is not as benevolent as it seems. And they have a point. But you can also say, but they need to do what they need to get done, or maybe afterwards, like Michael is saying, like I'm saying, but my life has changed. I've changed for the better. Now, and it is widespread. There used to be that show, People of Earth. I've mentioned it before. They took it off. It's a great show. And, these contactees get together and it was a funny show as well. But the point being is that it's a reptilian, and a Nordic person who's doing all this. They're working together, and they start taking this, like they take all of us, and they're the same people, and we'll start comparing notes. And on one episode, they took this woman from a support group, and she had heard all the other stories, and the gray who had her on the table, she said, "Why are you doing this to me?" And he started, and then she says, "Don't tell me, because I'm special." In other words, they're telling everybody that they're special,
right,
in order to get it done. And it's cynical, but maybe it's true. I mean, you can't help but think, you really think I'm special, or are you just telling me this to get what you need to do?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you're special, all right. Okay, just turn around. Yeah. So,
Where you go? I don't think we should go any further, RJ.
Exactly.
I don't think we should go. No more stories like that.
But I wonder, this gentleman that's doing this
just
regression.
turn around.
This gentleman that's doing this regression. I wonder if he has thought about that very incident, that he might have been somewhere different. I'm sure he has, and what we're saying here is that, we've heard this before, that maybe they're just showing him things that make him comfortable. And if he's thought about that,
yeah. Because we all, it's just human nature. We all want to think. We are special, but we're also not. There's a divinity in every one of us.
Right.
But if that's what it takes,
right,
to get you to be comfortable, then I'm going to say it. You're special.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's why we pulled you.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And we've heard regressions from quite a few who say, "But I know he was lying," or "I know they were lying."
Wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Are they always honest? Maybe not.
That's why we're doing this show.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Find out.
Yeah, every experience is a little bit different, but there's so many similarities worldwide. There's so many similarities that we can't say this isn't happening. It happens to millions, literally millions of people.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
All right. So you guys all ready for the last clip?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So this one, he talks more about what he's lying on. He starts to describe it a little bit more of what it feels like. And then he taps into a little bit deeper exactly what they are doing with his arms.
Okay.
So just give me a few moments here.
Okay.
Is what you're laying on hard or soft?
It's flat. It's hard.
Can you see what they're doing to your arm yet?
I think they might be. I don't understand.
Are they just touching your arm?
Two people are holding my arm up. One is touching me in my armpit, touching me with something. I don't know what it is.
Try to describe it for me.
Straight,
Is it large or small?
like that. Rounded. Rounded, straight and then rounded.
And what do they do with it?
They're looking inside my body there.
So they're using that to look inside your body?
Yeah.
What are they trying to see?
But there's not a, I don't know how they're doing it,
What are they trying to see in your body?
how it works.
Okay, and so what happens next?
They put my arms down and they leave through the window.
So he describes that they're holding something that's small and it's flat with rounded ends, and they're trying to look inside of his body. So there's actually four beings that were there with him. Two were holding his arms down, one was trying to calm him down, and the other one's doing the examination.
Well, it's also rather abrupt, at least the way he's saying it, because when they put his arms down, not thank you, take care, give us a call in a week.
Yeah, they're just gone.
It's like, okay, I'm gone.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, thank you, gone. On to the next.
Yeah. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't remember ever being thanked either.
No, I'm being facetious. They don't thank me either. As long as my wallet was still there, I was very happy.
Yeah, we're not that special, right?
Yeah. I wasn't that special.
I'm stuck on, intrigued by the instrument.
Yes.
What is it, and what were they really doing?
Yeah.
Is it some kind of a microscope? Is it, at the rounded end, I'm seeing like a sharp little spoon type thing where they can open them up,
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of speculative on that, but their technology is obviously something that we're not
That's what I'm
familiar
going to say. They could just run it. It could look like a hammer, like, oh, they're going to hit you with it. And they can just run it down, and that was it. They were trying to see how his body works.
Yeah, but it's round at both ends and flat, as they said.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So if he listens to this, examine your armpits seriously.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, I mean, it would be a good place that you wouldn't see scars because we all humans, we grow hair under our arms, and it's something that unless you shave it, you would not see a scar. But because I think Bill talked about, he had a scar on his arm from a visitation. Remember that? So, and I'm sure other people have had the same issue too. But
Right.
yeah, their technology, we can't even imagine what they can do with these things, and
Right.
see that what they can see with them.
Or where they can look.
Yeah.
It's I'll show you. Hold on. This
That's the first I've heard of it. Under an
This
arm.
is a wonderful book. It's really old. It's called Close Extraterrestrial Encounters, Positive Experiences with Mysterious Visitors. It's pretty old. It came to me like when I first was having these things. Books come to you. It's by Richard Boylan and Lee K. Boylan. I bring it up because these are positive experiences. But there were scary times. There were scary things in it. And they have illustrations, or they like, this is a probe. This looks pretty nasty. You can't see it. It looks like it's about a foot long or what have you.
Got a hook on it, yeah.
There was a light at the end of it.
Okay.
Now that looks pretty intense, but
Right.
they just kind of waved it on him. They didn't insert it or anything like that.
Right.
So when we're speculating, we got to be really careful.
Yeah.
But again, some of these probes and here they are. There's three of them holding up this guy's arms.
Ah.
So
interesting.
the book is worth getting. It's a classic. But again, I bring it up because these are positive experiences. but
Michael,
some
can
of
you
the
hold?
things that he's going through are in here. But at the end of it, people came out saying it changed me, and that kind of thing.
Mhm.
So it's a great book.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Very good. Yeah, I might get that as well.
Yeah, this book it's when Mike and you probably experience this when things happen and with this stuff, the right book comes your way, a person comes your way, and it's like, boy, I needed that book.
Yeah.
It was written in the early 90s. He signed it for me, but it got me on the path. That and John Mack's work. This was written in 1994. Leo Sprinkle wrote something for the counseling psychologist. It's just something, and maybe this gentleman would want to read it,
Mhm.
Right.
but it has stories in there, probes and that kind of thing. But these people said that part was scary or that part was uncomfortable, but on the back end, I've changed.
Mhm.
And you yourself had an experience where they did something to your head, and you said
Yeah, they
that
stuck a
hurts.
needle. They stuck
Yeah.
a needle right here in the back of my head. I
And you
mean,
told
it
them
was
no.
excruciating.
Yeah.
And then they left. Again, no thank you, Deb. Just took my goodies and left.
Yep.
And a friend of mine said, I know this is going to sound weird, but you got to set up some boundaries with these people. And I was like, oh, what are you talking about? They're not listening to me. And my wife at the time said she came in home one night because I took their advice and I was yelling up at the ceiling in my underwear, and she thought I had taken leave of my senses. But the next time they came, I was paralyzed, and they stuck a syringe here. They showed it to me
Oh my
in my
God.
third eye. And it was like when a nurse takes your blood and you don't even feel it.
Right.
So in my mind, and this was important to me, and it was important now, they listened to me.
Right.
They did what they had to do,
Right.
but I had to yell in my pajama underwear, but they listened. And that was helpful for me psychologically.
Mhm.
Because if they hadn't, I probably wouldn't be saying to you what I say now, that it was worth it. Maybe I would have, but they listened, and that was helpful for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it gives people, it lets people know that you can have a dialogue with them, and perhaps, if you can voice your opinion. So
Right.
Well, they weren't in the room,
right.
or maybe they were, but the next time they did their procedure, but the pain factor. I wish
Yeah.
they had done that when they put the needle back here.
Right.
Right. Well, and now they
My
can. I mean, if they can erase memories and they can do all the things they do, make a bedroom, a visual of a bedroom when you're probably in a craft, they can do something to take,
And
take that pain away.
Maybe they didn't know they were hurting me. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe sometimes I wish you hear people experiences talk about, well, they calmed me down so I could talk to them, whether it was, verbally or telepathically.
Yeah.
I wish they had done that with me. I would have had many questions. But my system was overloaded with fear and adrenaline. So I didn't get that.
Right. And I mean, most of the time, as we said a while ago, they're very businesslike. They're going to do what they need to do. They're focused on that. Are they going to, would they have a conversation with you and answer questions? Very possibly not.
Well, say, hey, listen, you guys are going to do this. Let's time out here. Time out. Let's get some guidelines here. I mean, there's pain and there's no. Well, I'll do this, but hey, we have to have a little guideline.
Yeah. So, and everyone is so different. Deb was saying that millions of people, and each person will interpret it. Could be the exact same event, but we'll all interpret it with our own lens.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a good
And
point.
how lucky you
I may say, hey, it was worth it, and someone else will say, you're crazy.
Yeah.
That's
How
not worth
lucky.
it. you know?
How lucky were you in the fact, Michael, that you were able, you communicated it in your underwear, you went for it and you did it.
Yeah, I
And
remember.
in
I
my case,
was
they
yelling
say,
up, and she walked
Yeah.
in, and she was like, "What the hell are you doing?"
in my case, they've said in the regression, we're always watching you. You know, they're always listening. Okay, so in your case, it sounds like that's what's happening. I can't say it for everybody, obviously, but however, what I was getting, I mean, you're lucky they listen to you. I bet in countless cases, they're not listening. They're just going to come in like they want, like they do anyway. Do what they want, no matter what the repercussion is on your end. Too bad, so sad. Oh well, we got what we wanted. That's it. You know.
Well,
So
even if someone said to me, "We're always watching you," see, that would make me paranoid, even if I couldn't see you. What am I? You know, you're watching. I can't go to the bathroom. I'm making love. What are you doing, you boy? What are you doing? See, I wouldn't want to hear that. But I guess like anything else, you carry on with what you have to do.
But you know they can.
Right.
You know they can.
But you know, you would say if your guardian angel, you know, or whatever said that, you know, it would be different in a way. So,
But
all we know is high strangeness.
I grew up. I grew up Catholic, and was told God is always watching.
Yes.
You. So
yeah,
you know, I mean, I was afraid to go to the bathroom in the wrong way or anything else. I mean, I'd almost prefer an ET watching me.
Yeah.
Because maybe they're not going to judge me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
and that's why you left. And that's why you left Catholicism.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yes. I
because
call myself a
judgment.
Yep. I'm a recovering Catholic.
Yes.
Not that I don't have my beliefs, but
no, I hear you.
Yeah. They're just not what I was told I had to believe.
Yeah.
Just tell them to cover their eyes.
But Reverend Michael made a good point that maybe they didn't realize that was painful to a human.
They may not have known, or they may not have cared. But like Michael said, I was lucky because I have felt pain, but never like that. And who knows? But getting back to our friend here, this is a pretty powerful regression.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that this is not the end of it. He'll be seeing them again.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of feel like, Mary, do you know how long it was in between like the first house and the second house?
I don't think it was more than years because he was still the young boy. They had just moved.
But I kind of feel like this has probably been a lifelong thing for him. He possibly doesn't realize that yet. But I would kind of bet that he's still having experiences and maybe doesn't even know because they can erase memory. If we're not ready to deal with that, or they don't want us to remember for whatever reason, we don't.
That's true. Well, all right, you guys, that's all we have for tonight. So, Michael John, thank you for co-hosting with us again.
Thank you so much.
And a big thanks to all our viewers out there for watching. And I hope you guys all have a
thank you, Michael.
Yes, thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Love you guys.
Love you all.
All right.
See you soon.
Good night, everyone.
Yeah, we'll talk.
You.
Yes.
Good night.
Good night, y'all. Thanks, Mary.
Thank
Good
you,
night,
Mary.
John boy.